Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. Happy Thursday. Just heading towards the weekend, end of this first week of March. I hope it's been a kind and great opening month. I do want to keep in my prayers uh, just colleagues that I have, classmates right now in the master's program that I'm a part of that live in the Middle East. Obviously, we all know what's going on in that region of the world. And I just want to pray for just my colleagues, classmates, and just everyone in that region that they stay safe and they can just get through this tough moment uh, together, and hopefully it will be over soon. And I just pray that you know our shows, not just Pressing Matters, but our shows here at Plug Talk Sports, are able to give people just an outlet to disconnect from the world and just enjoy sports. I always see sports as an outlet, right, to disconnect from just the responsibilities, the worries, the anxieties of life, and just enjoy these sports that we were given, and the athletes that play these sports, and to be able to enjoy that, and at least for an hour, or in our case 30 minutes of the day, you can disconnect and really just hear uh, some talk, some banter on soccer, and just sports in general through Plug Talk Sports. And hopefully that helps. So, and that goes for all circumstances in life, not just what's going on in the Middle East. Um, but yeah, we are here for you and your sports needs. We hope that we fulfill them, and we hope that we do a good job. And we appreciate every single one of you that tune in week in and week out to all of our shows, all of our content through social media. We really do. We really do appreciate that greatly. No further ado, this is Pressing Matters episode number 19. I am your host, Daniel Torres, and let's get to our first item this evening, and that is the second game of the season for Inter Miami. It was the Florida Derby. It was in the road, should I say, or on the road at Inter and Co Stadium in Central Florida, in Orlando. Miami playing hosts, or excuse me, visitors to their hosts and their rivals, Orlando City. And let me tell you, at the beginning of this match, I was shocked, which, by the way, Miami had not won in Orlando. Messi had not played in Orlando. So this was going to be very interesting to see how this would play out. Shout out to the Orlando City fans, the Iron Lion Firm, as they call themselves. I have been to several Orlando City matches as a fan and as a working person. And let me tell you, they do bring a great atmosphere, especially if it's against their rival. And they definitely did it. There was definitely some chants there that had some choice language that obviously is not good for the kiddos. But man, there was so much passion from the Orlando City fans. Obviously, there was Miami fans spread out through Inter and Co Stadium. As you can imagine, only a 4-hour trip by car, 3 hours by Brightline up to Orlando. But this match, let's tell you first how they lined up. So Orlando City started with Maxime Crepeau in goal, Brecalo, Miller, Reed Brown. Then they had Dorsey, Ojeda, Gusky, Angulo, Pasalic, then Ojeda again, and then up top with Maguire. And for Inter Miami, Dane St. Clair in goal, Muda, Falcon, Mikael Allen, DePaul, Bright, Allende, Messi, Segovia, and Bertarame. So Miami finally, it sounds like maybe they heard me, but they decide to go with Allende. I don't know how I feel. I would like it to be Silvetti, Messi, and Allende. That's how I would have lined it up. That's how I think it would work, to be honest with you. And we'll get into it, why it continues working. Um, Again, the two matches for me, Berterame, again, was hyped to be this amazing signing, world-class signing, but through two games, it hasn't done much for me. It hasn't moved the needle for me. Berterame needs to be more aggressive. Maybe he's just fitting into the system and trying to get adjusted. I would understand that for sure. But through two games, I mean, man, I'll throw Talasco Segovia up there and then insert Silvetti where Segovia was playing on that left wing. Because right now, again, like I said, Berterame through two games, not doing it for me. Not liking the signing right now. Maybe he'll prove me wrong later down the line, but I'm not liking it. And Luis Suarez was out of this match with a leg injury, which we just started the season and he already has an injury. And I was discussing this on Monday night with Janka on the Plug Talk Sports live show. And it's almost like, man, if Luis Suarez was not on this team, we could have used that money to go get ourselves another good player. It's just Suarez is not even starting anymore. He's on the bench. Granted, they're going to say, oh, the experience that he brings to the squad, the leadership that he brings to the squad is invaluable. But listen, like I said, if you want to be a coach, be a coach. But if you're going to be injury plagued, you don't bring much when you come to the field anymore. At this point for Suarez, and no disrespect to his career, he's had a wonderful career, all that he's done, whether in Ajax, Atletico de Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, and obviously his stints in South America. He is a tap-in merchant at this point. At this point, Miami really uses him when they need somebody that's going to be dangerous inside the box. But a lot of times, on counterattacks or quick transitions, Suarez kills it. Suarez slows it down. And so I would have closed the door, shut the chapter, said thank you to Suarez alongside Jordi Alba and Busi at the end of last season and moved on. But they decided to keep Suarez. Suarez wanted to stay. At some point, you got to look a brother in the eye and say, hey, look, we appreciate everything that you've done for us. But this is just, it's not the direction that we want to go in. And we could use that money to go get us a young, fresh talent that's going to help this squad, because I don't see how Suarez, aside from experience and guidance, how he's going to help this squad. I don't. So let's take a look at some of these stats. Possession, heavily favored, 61%. Inter Miami, 39%. Orlando City. We discussed in last week's episode that we know that Inter Miami likes to be a club that controls possession. They like to control the game. And when they control the game, that's when they're at that, that best. And they can really put damage on you. But that was honestly, don't get fooled. It was not the story of the match. Shots on goal, Orlando with 5, Inter with 8. Shot attempts, Orlando with 10, Inter with 15. Yellow cards were even, 3-3. Corner kicks, 8 for Inter Miami, 2 for Orlando City. And saves, 3 for Inter, 4 for Orlando City. This game started in the 18th minute with Pasalic getting on the board to make it 1-0. Honestly, again, it looked like Miami's back line was sleeping. Orlando was touching well through tight spaces. And that was when they got into the box, because the way they got there, it was a whole lot of space for them to operate to even get into that final third, But once in the final third, Miami clustered together defensively, but Orlando just operated well in those tight spaces and made great passes. And then in the 24th minute was just an absolute beauty. Barton Ojeda with an outside of the boot shot curved past Dane Sinclair to make it 2-0. And at this moment, you're thinking, wow, Orlando City is up 2-0 on Inter Miami, who got crushed by LAFC 3-0. Are they about to start this season with back-to-back losses? Are they about to lose to their rivals on the road? And you start thinking how Orlando City right now, yes, they've had stars. They've had Kaká. They've had Nani. Are they about to do this to Inter Miami without any stars? Granted, yeah, you got Martin Ojeda, but, I mean, those are not big-time stars. And we all know that this fixture is difficult because they're rivals. It's a rivalry match. You never know what's going to happen, and there's extra motivation just to pummel your rival. But up 2-0, and we all know that this is the most dangerous lead in all of soccer, because usually, a lot of times, teams squander a 2-0 lead. But the way Orlando was playing, they were playing great. They were exposing Miami. Miami was playing that first half a little bit better than what they did against LAFC. They were connecting. They were getting chances into the box. It was much better, but they were still being exposed. And I think the break is exactly what they needed, because after halftime, everything changed. So some of the substitutions here. Allende came off and Gonzalo Lujan came on, and Noah Allen came off, and Matteo Silvetti entered the match. Right after the break, 49th minute, Matteo Silvetti makes it 2-1 for Inter Miami. And there you go. I mean, he's making the difference right away. And if you're Miami, you can't put yourself in the situation where you have slow starts to matches, and then you find yourself having to crawl back out of the hole. You can't play that way because when you have a team, and not saying in the first half that Orlando City didn't play well, but when you have a team like LAFC who is not going to allow you to come back, you're kind of screwed. So Inter, we need to see more. It's only been 2 matches. You know, we have CONCACAF Champions Cup coming up against Nashville. Obviously, this weekend they are at DC United. They'll be in the White House today. Earlier this afternoon, they were at the White House visiting President Trump for celebrating their MLS Cup victory against Vancouver. But if we start to see that trend where they're off to slow starts, that's something they're going to have to focus on. And it goes back to what I said last episode, is that Inter Miami said that they were not going to open up the checkbook and spend on some players. That could come back to haunt them. I still stand by that. I still think that they should keep that option open. But Messi grabs the equalizer, 57th minute, to tie it 2-2. And from there, we had a game. Telasco Segovia in the 85th put Inter Miami up 3-2. There was a red card in the 88th by Colin Gusky of Orlando City to send them down to 10 men. And then Messi again in the 90th makes it 4-2. And the game was put to bed right there and then by Messi. And Miami picks up their first 3 points of the season, defeating their rivals, Orlando City, winning for the first time at Inter Co Stadium. And Messi picking up his first win against Orlando City on the road. Like I said, they've got DC United next. Obviously on the road, they will continue to have road matches until Miami Freedom Park is open, which by the way, they have officially unveiled the new stadium name, and it is called New Stadium, NU. It is a Brazilian investment firm, and honestly, guys, I think we should have just kept it at Miami Freedom Park. I like that a lot better. If we're gonna do an investment firm or some sort of bank, get one that people know, not something shady. We saw what happened with XBTO when they were their sponsor, the Northwest Club at the stadium, when they were the jersey sponsor. We saw what happened with that. That was shady. But yeah, I between them and Lone Depot Park, the home of the Marlins, my family and friends have said they like New Stadium better than Lone Depot. But I kind of like Lone Depot Park better than New Stadium, especially it's purple, which is Orlando City colors. So both teams are outdoing each other. Uh, Orlando City Stadium is called Inter and Co Stadium, so that doesn't help them. And then now Inter Miami with new stadium that's literally purple, the color of their rivals. So I'm not a fan of it. I would have preferred Miami Freedom Park just as the name, but that's what we're rolling with. And we're gonna move on to our second agenda, our second pressing matter. And we talked a little bit at the beginning of the show today, but Iran is possibly not going to be playing in the 2026 FIFA World Cup with what is going on. Obviously, we heard from President Trump when they told him about this. He said that he really didn't care. Um, I would want Iran to play in this World Cup. Just because, again, with everything going on, I feel that soccer and this tournament could be an escape for many Iranians or just people in the Middle East. I mean, Qatar is going to be part of the World Cup as well, Saudi Arabia, and those are all countries right now. Jordan. I mean, these are all countries in that region that are seeing conflict and battle right now. They're being hit by the Islamic Republic of Iran. All those Gulf states have received attack from Iran, whether it's Bahrain, Qatar. Formula One now is just scratching their head with the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and the Qatar Grand Prix. They had to cancel a tires test in, I believe it was Bahrain. And, I think that this could be a sense of unity for the people of Iran to get them to play in the World Cup and represent their country. Obviously, it's here in the U.S., so obviously the relations right now, diplomatic relations between Iran and the United States are not good right now. But this is supposed to be about bringing people together, celebrating the sport, enjoying the sport. Should not have politics involved in any World Cup. And I think that by Iran participating, they're showing and saying, hey, we understand the circumstances that's going on. And obviously, whether the government has disagreements with the government of the United States, we will put that aside and play in this World Cup. But also, I would like that the American delegation pushes for them to come to the United States and to play in this, to play in this tournament. And not only the American delegation, but I would see President Infantino and other FIFA members push for Iran to play in this World Cup. But if they make the decision that they don't want to play in this World Cup, which, by the way, the Finalissima between Argentina and Spain that's supposed to happen this month in Qatar, Qatar doesn't want to let go of it, but it isn't in doubt. It is the serious doubt that it will not happen in Qatar, and they're really looking whether to play at the Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid, or to play in Morocco, or to play here in the United States. That's being discussed. But again, if Iran decides that they're not going to play and participate in the World Cup, what does this do? Because remember, this month we have the FIFA World Cup playoffs to finalize the teams that are missing to the groups. But if Iran backs out, then this means that one extra team will be able to make the tournament. So let's take a look of the World Cup playoff schedule. So right now, scheduled for March 26th, New Caledonia against Jamaica. I think that Jamaica wins that match, and then they move on to March 31st to play the Democratic Republic of Congo. And between Congo and Jamaica, I'm going Jamaica, so I think that Jamaica makes this FIFA World Cup. FIFA Playoff Bracket 2, which, by the way, the winner of that Playoff 1 bracket will enter the group with Portugal, Uzbekistan, and Colombia in Group K. FIFA Playoff Bracket number 2, Bolivia against Suriname. I think Bolivia takes that. That's going to be also on March 26th. Winner of that game will play Iraq, and I think Bolivia will beat Iraq and move to the World Cup, and they will join the group of France, Senegal, and Norway in Group I. Then we move to Europe. The Europe playoff first bracket, also playing on the 26th, is Italy against Northern Ireland. Oh, man. That's a toughie, but I think Italy takes it. And I say it's a toughie because of where Italian football is in the world right now. So Italy makes it, and they'll play either the winner of Wales and Bosnia-Herzegovina, which I think Wales wins that, and it'll be Italy versus Wales. And if I have to bet right now between Italy and Wales, I could be proven wrong. But because of where momentum is at right now, I'd choose Wales. I'd choose Wales to make the World Cup and join Canada, Qatar, and Switzerland in Group B here, United States, Mexico, Canada. Playoff B bracket is Ukraine versus Sweden. This is also a toughie of a match. I'm going to go Ukraine, and they will play Poland versus Albania. I'm going Poland, so Ukraine against Poland. I'm going to go Ukraine. I think that they have good talent right now. And Ukraine would join Netherlands, Japan, and Tunisia in Group F. And then for playoff bracket number C, Turkey against Romania, I'll go Turkey. Then it'll be Slovakia versus Kosovo. I think it would be Slovakia. So Turkey versus Slovakia, I go Turkey. And Turkey would join United States, Paraguay, and Australia in Group D. And then finally, the UEFA playoff bracket D. Denmark versus North Macedonia. I go with Denmark. And then it'll be Czech Republic versus Ireland. I'll go with Ireland against Denmark, and I have Denmark winning it. So Denmark would join Mexico, South Africa, and South Korea in Group A. But those are the playoff brackets, all starting on March 26th. But again, one more team would be able to join if Iran says that they are not playing in this World Cup or participating. One of these nations would be able to take a third spot into a group here to replace Iran. And it'll be interesting to see how FIFA handles it, how UEFA handles it. But it's going to be great. And that's coming up at the end of March, the 26th. So be tuned for that. And this takes up to our last topic, which is the Champions League has had their draws for the round of 16. We are going to display or talk about these matchups. So they start on March 10th. That's just a Tuesday. And it'll be Galatasaray versus Liverpool. And we've got Newcastle United against Barcelona. And we've got Atletico de Madrid against Tottenham. We've got Atalanta against Bayern Munich. Again, for another consecutive year, we've got Real Madrid against Manchester City. We got Bayer Leverkusen against Arsenal. The Cinderella story, Bodo against Sporting Lisbon. We've got a rematch from the FIFA Club World Cup final, PSG against Chelsea. I'll tell you my predictions right now for round of 16. Galatasaray, Liverpool. I'm going with Liverpool. Newcastle, Barcelona. I'm going Barcelona. Atletico and Tottenham. I'm going Atleti. Atalanta, Bayern. I'm going with Bayern Munich. Real Madrid, Manchester City. You guys know I'm a diehard Madridista. You guys know that I'm part of the club. You guys know that I'm taking my masters with them. You know I love them to death. It's my childhood club, but I have to be honest. There's a crap ton of injuries right now. This team is not good. There's no way. Manchester City. And I say no way, but look, Real Madrid comes alive in the Champions League. You never know, but I just don't think it'll happen. I say Manchester City, and that pains me to say that as a Madridista, but I'm also a realist. So Manchester City, it is. Arsenal and Leverkusen, I'm going Arsenal. Bodo, Sporting Lisbon, I'm going Sporting Lisbon. PSG, Chelsea, I'm going PSG. So those are my predictions for the round of 16 of the Champions League. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. March 10th is when it starts. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to take us to our Team of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, our Team of the Week is Newcastle United. Newcastle United, if you look at them, they're currently sitting 12th in the English Premier League. Not anywhere near close being a Champions League team. Not anywhere near close being a UEFA Europa League team. And you wonder, why is this guy putting Newcastle United as the Team of the Week? Well, I'll tell you why. They just went on right now to beat Manchester United 2-1. Obviously, Man United right now riding high. They're currently sitting third in the English Premier League. But Newcastle United is no pushover. They've definitely have surprised people. They surprised us with the victory over Manchester United. They had goals from Anthony Gordon, William Osula, which let's talk about William Osula. And this was a great comparison. But someone said no one has made Newcastle United fans more proud or excited about the future than Santiago Munez. And if you guys know Santiago Munez, if you know, you know. So there is a movie called Goal, and it follows a young Mexican, Santiago Munez, who goes on a walk-on trial at Newcastle United, becomes a Newcastle United player, absolutely becomes a sensation. Obviously, later on, and it's a trilogy, just 3 movies. The second movie, he moves on to Real Madrid. Third movie, plays in the World Cup for Mexico. But, yeah, people said that this guy, even though Munez is fictional, it's a movie, that William Osula reminds them of him. And he got that goal in the 90th minute. It was tied 1-1, and he won the game for them. It was a phenomenal goal. It was a beautiful goal. And now Newcastle United, let's see if they can ride this momentum that they're being united. They will have Barcelona in the Champions League. They're a young team. They're a fun team to watch. But that is why they are my Team of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode 19 of Pressing Matters. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Soccer is getting better and better as we get closer to the World Cup. MLS is now in full swing. We got CONCACAF Champions Cup coming up. Obviously, now we're in the eliminatory phase of the UEFA Champions League. La Liga title race is good. English Premier League title race is good. So it's about to get real fun in this beginning part of 2026 and the back end of the majority of the European and world seasons. So I hope that you guys, once again, enjoyed this episode. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week for a brand new episode of Pressing Matters.